Hey friends, welcome back to the Bald Booktuber. The Bald Booktuber Scott, that's me. I'm 45 today. Hard to believe. Yeah, 5 years away from the big 5-0, but that's okay. We are here, we are live, and I hope that you are here with me. Please let me know if you can hear the sound okay, and let me know if you are here with me. Heidi, I see your question. I'm going to bring it up in just a second. It's a great question, and we'll get going from there. But we'll give it maybe a couple of seconds, and please, if anybody is around, let me know how the sound is. Let me know if you can hear me. I would super appreciate it. Might still be too early. It looks like people are coming in slowly. That's all right. I hope you're all having a great Monday. All right. We do have some people coming in. That is awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to start with Heidi's question because it's an awesome one. Do I think Hadrian Marlowe and Fitz Chivalry Farseer are very similar? No one seems to see that but me, she says. I can see it. They certainly have differences. They're in very, very different types of stories, very different types of worlds. But both of them have sort of this melancholy loner type of deal going on, which I can appreciate. Uh, both of them have many, many people that love them, and they are not always great at receiving said love and or returning it. So yeah, I can see this comparison. I think it's an apt one. I love that you are enjoying both series, two of my very favorite series of all time. So great question to start us off there, Heidi. That's fantastic. Thank you for dropping in. Got Belltube in. What's up, Brian? I forgot I had this tab open. Scared me. Happy birthday. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that so much. I'm enjoying your channel, and you are making some great stuff. And thanks for taking time out of your day to come celebrate with me. I appreciate it. Zen is here. Hey man, almost halfway through Battleground. Book is hype. Yeah, Battleground is my favorite in the Dresden Files. I have very, very fond memories of the day that it came out. I took that day off from work just to read it, and I literally, from the time I got up until, you know, fairly early in the evening, that's all I did that day, was immersively read Battleground. Still one of my favorite reading experiences ever. So, hope it continues to be hype for you. I'm very interested once you get a little further for you to tell me your spoiler filled thoughts. Yeah, Hadrian is probably less dumb than Fitz, which is not a surprise because most people are not as dumb as Fitz. So that is certainly understandable. So all good. Matt says, Happy birthday. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. My guy Brent is in the chat. Thanks, man. Happy birthday. I appreciate it. Brent was one of the first people to greet me today. Super appreciate it. Always, always a pleasure, sir. Looking forward to some reads with you in the coming month. So I'll talk about some of my reading plans for February on this stream because I'll be honest, I was going to get up early this morning and film a TBR video for February, and it just was too overwhelming. So instead, instead we are doing the birthday stream, and I'll talk about some of my planned reads for February. Indeed, rereading Dune, always a joy to reread Dune. I am also looking forward to part two. I need to rewatch part one. I don't have the time to reread Dune right now, although I'd love to. I still need to get deeper into the series. I've only really read Dune and Dune Messiah so far, so one of these days I will get back to it. Jason, my dude, what is up, sir? Congratulations again on Mauer's induction into the Hall of Fame. Well deserved. I like when good things happen to the twins and their fans. Yes, sir. My friend Jack is here. Happy birthday, she says. I want to know what the bestseller was on the day I was born. Man, Well, I'm filming on my phone, so I can't Google it. But if someone wants to Google best-selling book January 1st, 1979, that is a question worth answering, I think. I am currently in the middle of a buddy read with Jack and my former boss, Andy. We are reading Cujo. I kind of cheated and started yesterday. She started today and is further than me, which is about right. And Andy is pulling up the caboose, which is about right. Um, I think we're all kind of in lockstep, although, I don't want to speak for them, but I think in general, um, I don't know what I was expecting, but Cujo has been a bit of a letdown for me so far. I'm not super in love with the characters, which is my favorite part of reading Stephen King. So, Cujo the dog is a great character, as it should be in his book, but as far as the people in the book, not that jazzed. So we'll see. I'm about 2/3 of the way done. I should finish it before the month is over, and I can give more thoughts at that point. Good enough that I'm, obviously still continuing. Getting through King's catalog is important to me anyway, but so far this has not been one I would rate super highly on my list of King reads. That is correct. 1979 forever. What a fantastic year. That is correct. Ah, yes. Got some Corbett reading here. Queen of Bedlam is magnificent. That is correct. I read Mystery Walk last year. It was great. And I'm reading mine in February. So looking forward to that. I've heard really good things. So you have some great stuff ahead of you. Thanks for being here tonight. Chesapeake by James Michener. That was number one, huh? Okay. Uh, I don't know anything about Michener other than I've heard his name. That is the extent of what I can tell you. I believe he wrote thrillers. I don't know. So let me know. And Jack echoes Chesapeake. But if you guys know anything about that book, let me know. That's the first I have ever heard of it. So yeah, Brent says mine is fantastic, and I tend to be pretty level with most of his reading opinions. So um, I'm very bad at doing reviews in general. One of the few books I have reviewed is Speaks the Nightbird. If you want to check that out, I may do one for mine. I don't know yet. If it is something that is super intriguing to me, I might. I would love to do a big review for Disquiet Gods that I just read the arc for in one of my favorite series, Sun Eater. But the sheer thought of scripting it out and stuff is overwhelming, so I haven't done that yet. So, but yeah, if I end up enjoying it a lot, I will consider that. I probably should do reviews for many of his books because I'm becoming more and more of a hardcore McCammon fan. Yeah, the premise for it sounds really cool. And again, it's got Brent's blessing and Jason's blessing, so more than good enough for me. Yeah, Disquiet Gods was a trip. So probably since the event in Howling Dark, my mind hasn't been that blown in this series. So I think fans of Howling Dark especially are going to be big fans of Disquiet Gods, which makes me super happy. So, um, without getting too much into spoilers, and for those that haven't read it, this isn't going to spoil anything because it's just a name, but getting back to Vergosos is something I've been excited about for a long time. So, I know one of the things I was super stoked about that I would have liked to see more of was more time on Jad, which I know others have said the same. But but I think there's still time for that through short stories and novellas and so forth. So I'm cool with that. I'm super looking forward to book 7. I can't wait. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Zen Howling Dark turned up to 22. That's correct. Oh, did you have a chess question? I haven't done anything to turn it off. I don't know if the bot took it, but I will certainly answer any chess question you have. Maybe if you rephrase it, I would be more than happy to delve into anything chess related. If you know anything about me, you know it is a very big passion of mine. So yeah, that's a good question, Brent. I know that the cutting room for Disquiet Gods was pretty major based on what he said. So you know, I'm sure there was some really cool stuff that was trimmed, which you know is what it is. But I would venture to say this was the best edited book that he's had so far, and I think that's a testament to his buddy DJ Butler. So I think Sun Eater is in very good hands. Oh, fantastic! Around 1200 Elo. Yeah, where do you suggest to learn to improve courses apps? Yeah, make sure you're on chess.com. It is a little bit of a cost. It's you know I don't want to diminish it. It's about $100 a year. It's one of the few you know yearly memberships I'm very happy to pay. On there, really playing is the best thing you could do. I'm around 2100 strength right now. Rapid. I've been playing since I was 7. My dad taught me, and what I would typically say is do a lot of puzzles. Really, middle game strength is probably the most important thing you can learn. Tactics is critical, and some basic strategic ideas. You want to understand like good pieces, bad pieces. You want to understand pawn placement, pawn structure. It's a good idea to do a little bit of opening study, but not just memorizing things, trying to understand why the moves are being made that they are. And also with chess.com, you have the live analysis, which is critical because it will go through and examine your games after the fact and tell you, you know, you played this percentage. So 1200, you know, a good percentage is probably around 50% of accuracy. And then you can go through and it'll tell you, you know, what was the better move in this position. And sometimes it'll say why it was the better move. Um, and you know, always if you want to hit me up, I'm Glasscow79 on there. If you want to friend me, I'm happy to do that. We can play some practice games, and I can kind of take you through the analysis afterwards. Super happy to do that. On YouTube, the channels I like a lot are Chess Vibes. He is really good, and Levy Rosman that does Gotham Chess. He has a really good way of explaining things that even you know people that don't understand chess moves can understand. You know his stuff there. So um, I wish that there would have been this many resources when I was a kid. Like literally, the sky's the limit for all the stuff that's out there. There are obviously courses and things you can invest in, but as a 1200 player, unless it's something that you're super serious about, I wouldn't drop a lot of coin. Instead, I would look for the free stuff on there, particularly things like middle games, strategy and tactics, and end games, especially understanding that end games are still my weakest. Even all these years later, I still suck at end games. So, so that's one of the things I like to tune in on there. Hope that helps. Nice, you're on chess.com. Yeah, you bet. Anytime. People making chess moves vocally by grid coordinates sounds way more impressive than it probably actually is. Yeah. So if you've ever watched like blindfold chess, they'll be like queen to b8, this kind of stuff. Really, all it is a 64 square grid. So it's A through H horizontally, and it's 1 through 8 vertically. So it's really just explaining this piece moved to that square. And people that are very good at blindfold chess, I'm not, but people that are very good at it have amazing memories. And there was a player, a legendary player, George Koltanowski, I think his last name was, many years ago in the U.S. that could play 64 game simultaneous blindfold games. So he just down the row, he would tell a move, they'd tell him their move, and he could hold 64 chessboards in his mind. I have trouble holding one chessboard in my mind. So really amazing some of the stuff that happens there. And it's really fun when you see high level players playing like rapid and blitz blindfold, because not only do you have the element of speed impeding on things, but also you have to have amazing memory, which top level chess players all have incredible memories. So, but yeah, in general, it's not all that impressive of a feat. You know, if you play Battleship, you could probably play, you know, understand chess notation. It's not that big a deal. All right. So it looks like we do have some folks here. Let me talk a little bit about what I plan to read, because I'm sure some of you may or may not be interested in that. So I am taking part in a crime thriller readathon with my friend Brent, and he's organizing and running it. Uh, excuse me. We did Concrete Blonde in the first month of the year. It was great by Michael Connolly. I'll talk more about that if and when I do a wrap up. But essentially, it was book three, which is kind of an odd place to start, but it actually ended up working out really well. I like that a lot. We are going to be doing Tom Clancy's The Hunt for Red October, which is a book I've always wanted to read and haven't gotten around to yet. So I'm excited about that. That'll be my first read in February. So I'm stoked about that. And it's been years since I've watched the movie. So I'm going to listen to it immersively while reading it. And then I'll watch the movie, kind of compare and contrast. I'm looking forward to that. Also, with Brent and Lucas, and I think Taylor, and maybe a couple other people, we're going to be starting. I don't know how long I'll be on the ship for this one, but we're at least going to be starting Thomas Covenant, the Unbeliever, by Stephen Donaldson, which is a series you know, I would like to have said that I read at the very least. So I will start with Lord Fowl's Bane and kind of see how it goes. If it's my kind of thing, I'll continue with them. If I'm not super into it, I may table it for a while. So not a big deal there. Thanks, Zen. I appreciate it, man. Um, After those two, kind of the rest of these, I don't really know what the order is going to be, but I am planning on also trying Priest of Bones by Peter McLean. It's a book that Mike is reading. I do own all four digitally, both Kindle and audio, so no reason not to at least try the first book. And it's short, it's like 350 pages, so that should be I. Hey, either my brother-in-law or my sister or both is here. So I don't, I don't know who's online, but I love you guys so much, and thank you for the video today with Ella and Addie telling me happy birthday. That brightened my day. That was wonderful. I love you guys. Um, so that'll be good. I'm going to continue kind of reading somewhat in order. My King reads, at least any King that I've either never read or it's been more than 2 years. So I'm going to be doing The Dead Zone and Christine. I don't know which one is which in order, but I'll read those. I don't know what my expectations really are. Dead Zone looks like a cool premise with a guy kind of coming out of a coma, and Christine has always seemed like a dumb premise to me, but we'll see how it goes. So, you know, a demonic car. I don't know is that exciting of a premise, but I'm gonna try it, and it's part of my King read along, so we're gonna do it. And then, kind of these are sort of the ones sort of in stone. And then I have a couple other possibilities. I'm thinking about reading the first and possibly second book of the Long Price Quartet. If I don't do those now, I'll do those kind of later in the year, perhaps. And I'm also considering Perdido Street Station by China Mieville, which is a book I tried many years ago and it wasn't working for me at the time. So a little bit of a DNF redemption possibility there. And the other Jason, not my brother-in-law Jason, but the Jason from Mike's server, says he loves the Dead Zone. So that makes me very happy. I believe there's a movie adaptation for that as well. I may check that out. So yeah, so those are kind of my big reads. It will probably be a little bit of a lighter fare than January was. January I read Disquiet Gods, which is huge, and I read The Stand, and it doesn't get much huger than The Stand. So in addition to those two, I had some other stuff mixed in. Probably going to be a little bit lighter in February. We get the bonus day with leap year, but it's still a shortened month. So I don't want to overcommit. Okay, cool. Heidi's saying there was a movie and a TV show. Okay, which do you prefer? Which do you think I should watch? I'll tell you what really never has good adaptations is Firestarter. Um, I guess an argument can be made that the Drew Barrymore one was watchable, but the others have been horrible, including the TV show and the newest movie. So, yeah, yeah, what can you do? Oh, good. Christopher Walken and Martin Sheen are in it. Well, that's good actors right there. Good to see. Glather, my old friend Jason Glather. We are crowded with Jasons tonight, but that is all right. Glather, I hope you and the fam are doing well, my friend. Appreciate the birthday shout out today, and I appreciate you being here. Means a lot to me that you are supporting the stream. It's a longtime friend of mine, former coworker, great guy, and I miss him. We don't get to see each other much these days since I moved out to the desert and he's in Omaha. So Walken, yeah, Christopher Walken playing the part of Christopher Walken, which I am on board with. No problem there. I'm going to be following a RAFU. I know what that is. Reading order for Sanderson and trying to read The Bound and the Broken and Dandelion Dynasty. That is a lot of fantasy. What is Rafu? That would be. I don't know. You'll have to explain that one to me, Zen. I'm not sure what Rafu is. Uh, is that like Rafo on steroids? I'm not sure what that is. Um, I do plan to be rereading Stormlight Archive this year, so I would like to, if I get around to it, I would like to reread Warbreaker, which isn't really Stormlight, but it's kind of in that same vein, in the same universe at least, I think. And then I want to reread the first four as we prepare for book five. What wind and what is it? Wind and truth or truth and something? I don't know. That comes out in November, so I think I'll start my rereads in August for that. Glather is all good. I would expect nothing less. That is good. I don't know what it is either. It's just a full Cosmere reading order that's supposed to be the best. Ah, okay. Um, fair enough. Are these? Is this all rereads for you, or is this all fresh? Or I'm not sure. Ah, Jack will be reading Stormlight for the first time. Fantastic. Um, so Jack came upon Sanderson last year after for years I had been trying to get her to read Mistborn. So finally she listened to me, so that was good. She enjoyed the first trilogy, but she was a much bigger fan, I think, of the second quartet, which is fine. And then I think for the most part, you should be pretty good and pretty set up, Jack. And I think, have you read Warbreaker? I would read that too if you're going to be reading Stormlight, because there are some slight crossovers. I've tried to read Elantris like 3 times and I've never made it very far in it, so maybe this will be the year I can finally break through and get through that thing, but I don't know what it is about Elantris, but I just don't like that book. Yeah, Matt, have I read Bound and Broken? Not yet. I know Brent, my friend Brent, is a huge fan. Obviously, Mike is a huge fan. I know Madison loves it. The people that I've talked to that have read it are huge fans. I have listened to a bit of the audio of The Fall and was liking what I heard. That's the prequel to it, but I haven't, gotten super far. I listened to maybe an hour of it and really enjoyed it, but it was more just to get a sense of his writing. It's a series that I don't have at the, urgency level, the highest priority, but it's one I want to read for sure. Yeah, I thought you had read Warbreaker. Yeah. Yeah, really cool book. I read it when it was relatively new and have forgotten most of it, but I remember being pretty blown away with that one with the magic system and stuff. So so yeah, it's fresh for you. So there is some crossover that will be meaningful for you when you get to it. I want to say it's an Oathbreaker that some of those connections are made, and I hope you don't see that as a spoiler, but it really is just just that. Okay, Zen. So you've read Elantris, which I don't care for. I've DNF'd twice. You read Emperor's Soul, which I think is word for word the best thing Sanderson has ever written, at least that I've read. And you've read Arrow 1. Okay. So you're going to reread those. Okay. So you've got a lot ahead of you, so that is good. Heidi is echoing that Bound and the Broken is worth the hype. She just finished the novella Exile in one sitting. It was excellent. Awesome. I think, does Exile take place between books 2 and 3, or is it after book 3? I'm not sure. But I've been told that the novellas are just as good as the novels. So it's one I definitely am excited about. My friend Derry is here. Derry, the biggest ever Robin Hobb encyclopedia you will ever meet. The person that I go to consistently and probably drive her nuts with questions. If you ever want to know anything about the Hobb universe, this is the person to go to. She has a wonderful channel. Please subscribe. We love Derry. Thanks for being here, Derry. That's awesome. It's got to be, what time is it for you? It's probably early morning on Tuesday. Is that right? Derry's in New Zealand, and I'm not good at math with time zones. So I think it's probably early Tuesday morning. So thanks for being here. I appreciate you. That's incorrect. I've read the same books that you have many, many less times and retained far less than you have. But I appreciate you saying so. And we both can agree that Queen Hobb is the best writer ever. Oh, it's already afternoon on Tuesday. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Sounds good. Got to be like a 10-hour time difference or something like that. Brent is scared to reread anything Stormlight because afraid tastes of change and I wouldn't like them. That's possible. I'm not worried because I recall how big of an impact both, especially the first two books, and in particular, Words of Radiance had on me. I think that book is just a masterpiece. And I know you didn't like Rhythm of War, but I still was enjoying myself. So, and Oathbreaker has some pretty cool stuff that I really enjoyed. So, so I'm looking forward to the rereads. I know I can understand your misgivings. Okay. I appreciate that, man. So Zen sent me the video with the reading order. I will make sure that Jack gets it as well. She reads significantly faster than me and most other humans. So she will get through about 10 books to every one that I will read. So she'll be way ahead of everybody. I agree with this wholeheartedly, Derry. Yes, read Sun Eater immediately, if not yesterday. You are forward in the timeline to us, so you should have already read all of the series. And that hasn't happened yet, and we need to fix it. Because as much of a wordsmith as Miss Hobb is, and she absolutely is, I think she's got the best prose ever, I don't think Rockio is that far off. I really think he is a beautiful writer, and his story is incredible, and you need to be a part of this world. Yeah, good writing absolutely holds up. Something the social context changes, but books with enough meat to them are always worth rereading. I agree. Your growth as a reader will usually mean the books do too. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if there's a bigger proponent than Derry and myself when it comes to rereading. She loves it as much as I do, more than I do probably. She's read Realm of the Elderlings like 16 times. So she definitely rereads a lot and gets a lot out of each reread, which I think is awesome. Orlando's here. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Yes, it's a decent time. I usually stream early in the morning on Saturdays, and I haven't been doing that as much as I'd like to. So I figured we'll try in the evening and see if the audience is here for it. And I appreciate y'all being here. It means a lot to me. Matt says, last night I read the first Tyrion chapter of Game of Thrones. Man, literally smiling from ear to ear the whole time. Yes. So I don't know if you knew this, but Tyrion is my favorite character in fiction and has been since that first chapter you're alluding to when I read it back in around 2001, might have been late 2000. And yeah, I just can't get enough of Tyrion. It's obviously my favorite series of all time. I've reread it multiple times, re-listened to it multiple times. Yeah, Tyrion is the best. You might as well slide an A in there and say GOAT because he's the greatest of all time, the very best character in fiction. I love it. Love that you are reading this for the first time. Tell all your friends, not enough people read Game of Thrones. Hey, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been overwhelming today. I've had a lot of people with birthday wishes and so forth. It always feels good. So thanks for continuing to add on to that. It means a lot to me. Well, I understand, Derry, that many people are telling you that, but it's for your own good. And you know that I'm not BSing you when I tell you this is a series you will love. This is absolutely going to be your thing. This is going to be the next thing you dig into and want to read and reread and reread again, I promise. So um, there's no hurry on it, but it is something I would like you to prioritize over these next couple years because I look forward to conversations with you about it. I don't agree with that, but I also understand where you're coming from and value that viewpoint. In my mind, nobody's prose is better than Robin Hobbs, but uh, if there were an argument to be made, Rockio certainly would be in that argument for me. Correct. Derry is also famously a very, very big proponent of A Song of Ice and Fire, very knowledgeable, and I've been fortunate enough to listen to some of her discussions and so forth. I love listening to Derry talk about these series that are meaningful and loved by her. Yeah, so have I, Zen, which, again, I'm cool with your opinion. I just don't share it. Yeah. Um, I could literally reread the Song of Ice and Fire every year and not get tired of it. And there's so much rereadability. I 100% agree. So many things you pick up on subsequent reads. I was so fortunate to take place in that multi booktuber, uh, read along, reread along with Joanna last year and Alex from Tall Guy Reads and others. Joanna Souza. We had a wonderful time. Many great conversations, and I certainly it was the most enjoyment I've ever had going through those books, and I've enjoyed them every single time. So good stuff. Speaking of Joanna, there she is. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. That is correct. Rockio's favorite series is Book of the New Sun. That is correct. Reading War and Peace with a group, but Sun Eater is for sure happening. Awesome. I read Book of the New Sun last year. I had a wonderful time. It is challenging, but worth the challenge. Sun Eater at times can be challenging, but it is quite a bit less dense and less in need of explanation than Book of the New Sun is. A little bit more accessible. I'm actually reading Earth of the New Sun right now, and that is a bit impenetrable as well. So I think I'm grasping maybe 20% of what's going on, which is not great. So I'm looking forward to the video with Moyd from Media Death Cult with the Alzabo Soup guys to decode what it is I've read once I complete it. I'm about 40% in. But yes, if you are saying that because you like Book of the New Sun, then absolutely you're going to have a great time with Sun Eater. Uh, Scott, I find the prose in Sun Eater is very highfalutin, and sometimes the prose borders on ridiculous. I am 70% in ridiculous. I don't know. I don't feel that way, but I appreciate your perspective. How are you liking the series so far? If you're that far into Howling Dark, you've already run into some crazy stuff, and and there will be more crazy stuff to come. Really, I think for most people, Howling Dark is kind of the make or break point. If you love what's going on in that book, you're going to love the whole series. If you're finding it not necessarily to your taste or it's not really your thing, the series may not be the best choice for you. So I'm interested to see how that's going for you. Oh, you have read it. Oh, okay. Okay, my fault. You, my fault. I misunderstood. So you've read it multiple times, and you're pointing out that you've gotten to that part. Okay, that makes sense. Sorry, I shouldn't make assumptions. But no. Either way, if you are either a proponent of the series because you've read it multiple times, like we have, or you're reading it for the first time, yeah, that Tyrion chapter hits hard. That's for sure. Yeah, yeah, I like when people have varying opinions from mine, and I'm happy to engage with that. That's not a problem. My only issue with really anything like that is when people have and can be any kind of opinion, but when they have the perspective of their opinion is the only valuable one and the only one that should be used, and everybody else is an idiot that doesn't share their opinion. That I don't like. I say a lot that I value viewpoints. I like to see people with different understanding, different ideas, different things they bring to the conversation. Correct. We do love dairy. That is 100% correct. Okay. So so it really is sun water you were talking about, not sun eater, or you're just highlighting it because you typoed. I'm not sure which. If it's sun water, I never heard of that. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming you mean sun eater, but I don't know. Aw, for sure. Yeah, booktube is the tribe. Okay, yeah. So it was just a type. I knew what you're saying. It's all good. It's all good. It wasn't hard to piece together there. No problem. All right. Where are we at? Hey, Chaz is here. Happy birthday, my dude. Yeah, I appreciate it, my friend. Chaz is a fellow Phoenician out here in the desert. I've had a chance to meet him. He's a great guy. Please make sure you're subbed to his channel. He is over 1,000 and doing great stuff. So appreciate you being here, my man. It means a lot to me. No, there's not a whole lot of water in the sun. That is that is correct, Zen. Good point. It was one of the great experiences I have had in my reading journey, Joanna. It meant a lot to me that you invited me along for it. It was many great and deep discussions, and I'm always up for a read of A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm never going to say no to that, especially when I have awesome people to talk about the books with. So yes, that was a wonderful thing that we did together, and I will always treasure it. Good stuff. Yeah, Book of the New Sun is dope. Another one of my favorite reading journeys. I had Rockio on the channel 4 times to talk about each book in depth and really to explain to me what it was I read. Because he understands it and I don't a lot of the time. So I was in some pretty deep water at times trying to figure out what was going on, and he was able to parse it down for me and make it manageable. So I appreciated that quite a bit. Yeah. Oh, Derry has a question. Do you have a book you enjoy that is aged badly or could be said to be bad objectively? Um, Yours is Twilight. Objectively bad or aged badly? Let me think about that. I'm not a good judge of what's aged well or poorly because I think most books are a moment of their time. Um, so maybe I'll stay away from that part of the question. But objectively bad that I enjoyed, I'm sure there are many of those. Uh, let me let me see. I think I had a period of time where I was going through all of Terry Brooks's Shannara series, and I had a good time with that series for the most part. I haven't been through all of them, but a big majority, and at least most of the initial series. Some of those books are very poorly written, and and I still enjoyed them. So probably an argument could be made that some of them have aged out poorly as well. I don't really know, but I would say if you're just looking for kind of a Tolkien ripoff, that's what Sword of Shannara is, and I still love it. And I think that his second book, Elfstones of Shannara, is an objectively very good book, and probably the last really good book that he wrote. So he wrote like 40 books or something. So if that tells you anything. Um, I guess that would be my go-to there for at least fantasy based. I read a lot of thrillers and so forth, those kind of things. Like I still love Dan Brown. I love all those books. Chaz will be mad at me for saying this, but I think some of those are pretty bad books. The Da Vinci Code, I think, is an okay book, but some of the ones in that series are pretty bad, and I still enjoy them. So I guess that could be a non fantasy answer. I hope that answered your question. And right after that, Chaz is happy to be here. Now he's mad at me, but that's okay. I'm putting words in his mouth. I don't know if he's mad at me. Let's see. One of the indie bands I like is from Phoenix, but they recently moved to Nashville. Oh, okay. What band is that? Yes, Brent is finally going to be doing his full Song of Ice and Fire reread. Fantastic. It's been 10 years since you read it. That's too long. So I am very looking forward to you getting back into it. I know you're probably going to do it eyes only because you hate the audio, which I understand. I don't have any problem with him, but I know a lot of people have a really, really hard time with that audio, which is understandable. So probably eyes only for you. Correct, Derry. That is exciting. And yes, it is one of the most rereadable, like we talked about before, series there are. Uh, all of the foreshadowing and stuff that George set up so expertly, when you can reread it and you can kind of see what's coming on, so good. So good. Yes, Zen, we know you're going to reread it when Winds comes out. Yes, we're aware. Yes. Correct. Correct. We've heard you say that many times. I understand. You're not the only one. Many people feel that way. I get it. Let's see. What else we got? Yes, must have faith. The band is called Holocene. Halocene? Holocene? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. They're on YouTube, Twitch, but they do tour. Okay. I am probably the least informed music person there is on the internet. If it's not a band that was played on the radio in the 60s and 70s, I'm probably not all that invested. If it's not Beatles or Zeppelin or Pink Floyd or Steely Dan or these kind of bands, Rush, probably I'd probably pass in most cases. But it's not that I dislike music. I'm just, I guess, not open minded about trying new things when it comes to music. So, but I'll check them out if you are vouching for them. I'll see what it's all about. Still love you, man. All right, we're no, I mean, I think you have to kind of admit, Da Vinci Code is great. When it comes to that type of book, and he hit it right at the right time. There's a reason that it sold so many copies. I think Angels and Demons is his best written book, and by a lot. And then it gets pretty rough. and I enjoyed all of them, but some of those books are pretty rough. I was super excited when Omega came out. Like the premise looked so cool and stuff, and it just left me wanting. And then I don't remember the names of the other two right off the top of my head, but there was the one set in DC that was interesting, but a lot of stuff left undone there, I felt. And then there was the other one. I think the other one was book three, and that was made into a movie. That was the Dante's Inferno. It was just called Inferno. I can't remember, but yeah. Yeah, Roy Dotrice. I'm thinking of tallying all the different ways he. Yeah, he can't consistently pronounce anything. So, and I've said this multiple times about Dotrice. I think his regular narrating voice is good. Like I like when he's just talking. When he tries to do voices, it's awful. And understandably, that turns a lot of people off, along with the mispronunciation. Uh, but just something you deal with, I think. And especially in the later books when he came back and he recorded *To Dance with Dragons*, his Danny in that book is one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life on any narration ever, and so bad. But you know, Roy is Roy. If he wants to make Danny sound like a 70-year-old truck driver that chain smokes, I guess that's what he wants to do. I don't know. I don't get it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. He's probably senile by that point, so it is what it is. Let's see. Done a lot of covers, but they have some original songs. Okay, sounds good. I'll check it out. Favorite side story from Book of the New Sun: the student and his son was great. Boy Called Frog, that was also very cool. I don't know if I had a favorite necessarily. I think my favorite part in the whole series was the play when they were doing the New Sun play and acting it out. I just thought that part was super well written, super cool. But as far as like a story within the story, that was my favorite, not necessarily. Uh, to me, Rothfuss did a similar thing in Name of the Wind and Wise Man's Fear, where he, made a story about internal stories, and I just enjoy that type of dynamic. And you'll see that in Sun Eater as well. There are stories within the story itself, and some of them end up being real life characters, which is also very cool. Let's see. Yeah, it is charming in its own way. He muddles through it. He does the best he can. He had a stage acting background, so he's not an inexperienced voice actor or an inexperienced guy. He just, for whatever reason, couldn't consistently say anything and couldn't have consistent voices that made sense for the characters, and it is what it is. My Mount Rushmore of narrators, I think you probably have it pretty close here. So for me, it's Pacey, Marsters, TGR, um, and Circus is definitely my top 10, but he's not on the Rushmore list. I would put Simon Vance as my number 4 personally. But there are lots of narrators I really love. And I made a video about that, but some of the other ones that I really like are, of course, Circus, as you mentioned there. I really like Eduardo Ballerini. He's one of my favorite narrators. He does the Matthew Corbett series, among other stuff. I am a big fan of John Lee. He does all kinds of different stuff, mostly historical fiction and fantasy and sci-fi. Um, yeah, I could go all day. Nick Podell, who does Name of the Wind, Wise Man's Fear. He's one of my favorites. Yeah, it's collecting narrators I love is definitely, yeah, definitely one of my things that I value. Yeah, so smooth. Yeah, he is. He's done some Martin stuff as well. He did, I believe, he did the narration for World of Ice and Fire, but it might have been one of the other encyclopedias, and he did really good with that. So, yeah, I like Simon Vance a ton. Just discovered. Yeah, I've heard of Gildart Jackson. He's on par with Pacey. I'm trying to remember what I know him from. Remind me some of the things he's done. Did he do? Maybe he did Alex Veris or something. He's done something that I listened to parts of, but I don't recall. Let me know what some of the stuff he's done is. Fire and Blood. That's what Vance did. Okay, I knew it was one of the. Yeah, I knew it was one of the not main series. My hope, and I don't think this will happen, but my hope is if and when Winds of Winter gets released, they ask Vance to re record the entire thing. I think he would be amazing for it. Keep an eye out for them. I also have a huge soft spot for Stephen Briggs, who most of the Discworld. So I am sorry to say, Derry, I've not really done Discworld. I have attempted sections of it, and I just haven't been invested yet. It doesn't mean I'll never read them. I did recently invest in. There was a humble bundle for it, where it was. I want to say it was like 18 bucks for the entire series digitally. So I grabbed that. So it was like 40 bucks for 18 bucks. I can't 40 bucks for 18 bucks. I can't say no to that. So I own them all through the Kobo app. So at some point I may get to them. I don't know, but it's definitely not a super high priority. The one thing that would get me to read them would be I would like to talk about them with you. That's about it. And maybe we could coerce Alan to come on and discuss together, but who knows? Um, but yeah, at least so far, it hasn't really been my thing of the samples that I have read and listened to. Correct. Yes, you've mentioned that a few times. I do need to listen to that. One of Zen's favorite narrations is Bill Homewood for Count of Monte Cristo. I will definitely be willing to give that a shot. It's a book I do need to get behind me and read at some point. When I do, I will for sure use that narration. Hey, Sean's here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Red Deathstalker. Is that Is that Simon Green, or am I thinking of something else? I think that's Simon Green's series. Um, if it is, I have listened to a lot of his other series that I can't think of the name of right now. The something side the I can't think of it. But the narrator for that series is Mark Vitor, who's another one of my favorite narrators. That dude's awesome. Yes, Scott with one T, correct. I appreciate it. Nope, there's no late. I appreciate you being with us here. Don't work too hard, for sure. Um, but thanks for being here. There's no such thing as late. When you show up on a stream, your family, if you're watching later on, your family, I appreciate anybody who is engaging with the channel. And I know I haven't put out a lot of content lately, so the fact that anyone even remembers that I exist means a lot to me. So thanks for being here on my birthday. Yeah, that humble bundle, I couldn't say no to it. That's quite a steal. I should have. There was a humble bundle for Malazan at one point that I should have probably done that too. I own all of the Book of the Fallen, but I don't own all of the Ian C. Esselmont stuff. So I think it included everything, and I probably should have done that one too. So that's a site I'll pay more attention to, and when they have fantasy and sci-fi related deals like that, I'll snap them up. Let's see what we got. I'm way behind, which is awesome, which means that there are a lot of people. Yeah, that's what I'm told. Guards is what I'm told I should probably start with. The whole concept of reading books out of order, I have to condition myself to do. It's harmful to me. Um, even even when I'm reading like thriller series, when I know it doesn't matter what order I read them in, it still feels bad to read them out of order because I'm just have conditioned myself. Um, yeah, there was a so Humble Bundle is I don't know if you're asking what the website is or which one I did, but there was a Discworld one. So Humble Bundle is a charity related website where some of the proceeds go to I believe it's like kid fluent reading fluency and stuff. I'm not sure reading literacy, but it's a good cause, and authors will donate their works to it and stuff. So like for this one, there were I think all but three of the Discworld novels were included. So they give you'd pay your $18. You could put more on there if you want to. I was cheap and didn't, but like you can add to it, and the rest all goes to charity. And and basically they give you a redemption code. All the books go through in this case go through Kobo. I don't know if they always do. So I ended up with a Kobo account, which I had never had before, and it's actually a fairly slick interface. So and they have a Kobo Plus option, which is kind of similar to Kindle Unlimited. So I got a free trial of that. I have to decide if I'm going to keep it or not. I'm probably not, but they've got quite a bit of stuff on Kobo Plus as well. You'll be there with bells on. Certain. Do you think so? I don't. I don't know. I so far you're gonna hate me. So far, the stuff that I've read that people think is hilarious, I just kind of stare blankly at. I don't really get it. I guess like the wordplay jokes and stuff. I don't know if I'm not smart enough for them or what the deal is, but they don't really resonate. Alternatively, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy I love, and I think that's hilarious. So at least at the base, there should be some overlap of my enjoyment, but thus far there hasn't been in the stuff that I have read samples of, and I think I've read samples of the first Death Book and Guards. So I don't know. At some point, I will give it a fair shake. A fair shake. David Clark was the narrator you like for Christo. Okay, fair enough. Interesting. I don't have a horse in the race. I don't I don't know who's better. Um, yeah, I don't know when that humble bundle was down. I don't know what the expiration or whatever for that was, but I think I grabbed it relatively early when it was up. So just go out to humblebundle.com. I think it's just the URL. If not, do a Google search for Humble Bundle. You'll find it and see if it's one of the ones out there. Yeah. Um, yeah. I'm trying to think what Green's other series is called. Like something side. Um, I don't know why I can't think of it. I listened to almost that entire series and really enjoyed it. Good urban fantasy for Dresden fans. I've heard really good things about Deathstalker. I know that one of the stories he wrote in that universe, Rockio, actually edited and put in one of the collections for Bane. So it was his first experience with Deathstalker, and he really liked it. Apparently, Darius read Deathstalker as well. Read the first three or four. Blast from the Past. Yeah, Simon Green is a talented guy. He writes a lot of different series. Does some really cool stuff. Hey, Liam's here. Physically a detriment. I don't know what we're talking about. What is physically a detriment? I lost the thread somewhere. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about here. I need to watch your review of. I saw you put up a review of the first culture book, um, and I need to see what that review looks like because I want to start that series, and I haven't heard really awesome things yet about the first book. King of the Wild in space, crazy fun reading. Okay, Kings of the Wild is another book that I need to get to at some point. That I've read parts of, but not really the whole thing. I know that once you, yeah. So I mean, I get it. Discworld has the sub series, and you can kind of read it in different ways. So I understand. Um, but yeah, and I don't hear good things about those first two books at all from anybody, even Discworld hardcore fans. So I probably would have to start somewhere else. Um, which so do you like the Night Watch series the best? Is that your favorite area, or do you like the Weird Sisters, or what? Which one's your favorite? Oh, okay, yeah, I know they do a lot of games and stuff too. Humble Bundle also right now has a ton of like technical type of books, like if you want to learn Python coding and that kind of stuff. So I've thought about getting those, but I already do that stuff at work, so I decided not to. Yeah, clever fun. I don't. It's too clever for me. I think. I don't know yet, but but that's all right. I promise I will try because I love you and I want to talk to you about the series. So we will see. Let's see. Blue Moon Rising. Not familiar, but I will check that out. Interesting. Liam says Deathstalker is on his list. Ah, I see. Reading out a publication order hurts physically. I understand now. Okay. I wasn't sure what we were talking about. Now I get it. Okay. You have to explain things to me sometimes. I'm pretty slow. So I appreciate that. Nightside. Thank you. That is the name of the series. It was killing me. Yeah, I really enjoy that series. That's a lot of fun. So it's basically set in sort of an alternate England called the Nightside, and John Taylor is the main character. He's got some kind of metaphysical gifts and some supernatural stuff he can do. A lot of fun, and I think Dresden fans will have a good time with it. And like I said, Mark Vitor, if you can still find them, I know at some point they went back and re-recorded all of them with a different narrator, so that sucks. But I still own the Vitor ones, thankfully. So if and when I go back to them, I have the correct man for the job. The list, I see. Yeah. Yeah, Brent famously, every time someone quotes a Pratchett book, he feels, let's see, he feels like he's listening to someone tell an anecdote. They have to finish by saying, "You had to have been there." I get it. Changes with mood. My favorite subset of Discworld is the witches. Okay, though I have a soft spot for the Industrial Revolution books, starting with Moist von Lipwig. So I actually have read parts of that first Moist book, I think. I forget what the name of it was, but I do remember laughing at one point when I started listening to that. They take him to the executioner's block, and the executioner is basically telling him that he signs everybody's rope for them, and that kind of gallows humor made me laugh a little bit. So if I was going to start with anything, I'd probably start with that book, I suppose. Is it Going Postal? I want to say it's Going Postal. I'm not sure. Derry just downloaded the audiobook for Blue Moon Rising. Fell in love with straightforward prose from Green and the humor. Thank you. Cool. Humor comes from the build up. The punchline simply doesn't hit without it. Okay. Makes sense. Hey, Rach is here. Popping in to wish you happy birthday. Good to see you. It feels like I haven't seen you for a while. I don't know if you've been on the server just different times than me, but it is good to see you, stranger. I hope you and the family are doing well. Steve says his favorite is the Death series. Cool. Let's see. Yeah, it is Going Postal. Okay. I did something on my screen here. I don't know what I did. There we go. Okay. Yeah. And I've heard from Ben. I can't remember Ben's channel name, but he said that Going Postal is a good place to start as well. So that one I was sort of vibing with. So maybe if I was going to start anywhere, it'd probably be with that one. So I might give that a shot. Death books are the most philosophically bent of this world and has Susan, who you adore. Okay. Listen, I will be right back. We're at about the hour mark. I appreciate everybody staying with me. Don't go anywhere. I'm caught up on the chat. I'm just gonna get up and grab a drink of water. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I appreciate everybody being with me. One sec. Okay, so Derry says it's okay. I started Going Postal. Give me just 1 sec, everybody. I'll be right back, okay? Thank you very much. It looks like pretty much everyone is still here. Awesome. Thanks for bearing with me. I was getting a little parched. Talk amongst ourselves. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so I will likely not be reading One Piece. I'm glad people enjoy it. I'm glad that there is an audience for it. Um, the manga thing not my thing. Comics really not so much either. Um, I'm glad people enjoy it. I'm happy to listen to other people talk about it, but for me, not really what I'm here for. So never. I think probably is the one. Never say never, but probably never. Talk. Cue the Jeopardy. Yeah, sorry it took so long. I appreciate everyone's patience. All right. What did you think of the life form subplot in Reaper Man? Well, yeah, we'll have to see what Steve says because I can't. I know that Reaper Man was one of the death books, and that's the extent of my knowledge. A Supreme Grandmaster shows up in Bound and the Broken. Wonder if the author is giving us a wink at Pratchett. Could be. I don't know. Good stuff. All right. Well, let's keep rolling. What does everybody want to talk about? What questions do folks have? What quandaries and conundrums can we solve tonight? It's I'm in a mood of wanting to solve all the world's problems, so maybe we can fix them together. Let's see what we can do. Yes. Again, no shade from me. I'm happy to let people indulge in whatever kind of content they want. I just personally don't have any interest, which is fine. I also don't watch YA related content for the most part on BookTube because I'm also not into that. Romance novels, not into that. So there's plenty of stuff for everybody, which is why I love books and why I love the written word. And there's enough of it to keep me entertained. All right. Derry agrees with Brent, which we like. We need to unravel the mysteries. Let's do that tonight. We're going to do that all tonight. Yes. My brother-in-law says, what should Sis read next? I've been trying to get her to read the Beartown trilogy by Frederick Bachman. I was able to get her to read A Man Called Uva, and she liked that, but she really needs to read the Beartown trilogy, which I adore, and is very sad in places, and is going to make her cry. So that'll be your problem to deal with, Jason. So that's good. Yeah, we're doing we're doing references for for Hitchhiker's Guide now. That's good. Kingsbridge, yeah, probably. I have read Pillars. It was many years ago and really loved it. So I would want and need to reread it and then continue from there. So I'm not sure if and when, but I do plan to. I think his other trilogy I'm a little bit more urgent and interested in reading first. Kind of I forget what the trilogy and stuff is called, but it's sort of the multi-generational deal that follows several families. That one looks cool to me, and I might do that first. Hey, Lino's here. What's Lino say? As a gift to yourself, you should. Yeah, I should continue with Baker. That's absolutely correct. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed my reread of The Darkness That Comes Before, and I just have not continued on, and I need to do that. And Brent reminds me every day that I need to do that. It says that I'm a bad friend and a bad person, and I haven't yet, but eventually I will make that happen. Sis and Jason, I am not a mean person. I just think you need a little bit of sorrow in your life to appreciate the fine things in life. So that's where Frederick Bachman comes in. He makes you sad so you can appreciate the good in life. I have not listened to the radio play. I have not. I have listened to Stephen Fry's narration of the first book, which I quite loved. And I listened to, I think Martin, whatever Martin's name is, the one that was Bilbo. He did the narrations for the other ones, and I like those narrations as well. Baker's King, yes, yes, yes. I'm aware. You've told me. His prose in Darkness Comes Before was magnificent. I will read it. It just hasn't happened yet. All right. Good plug for the Beartown trilogy. I need to read, have read many of the other books of the author. Cool. Yeah, for me, Uwe probably will always be my favorite of his that I've read. Beartown trilogy number two. I like all three of those books. I know not everybody does. Some people feel like books 2 and 3 weren't that good. I felt like they were all fantastic. And then I liked Anxious People, but it took me a while to get deeply invested in what was going on. And I thought it was a nice twist and stuff inside of that one. So I think he's a really, really talented author, and will continue to read his stuff. Okay. Jazz said, Darkness Comes Before was a tough one. Found a YouTube series that was helpful for expanding the understanding. I will read the rest of the trilogy. Nice, nice. I remembered you were starting it as well. I've read 3 of the Kingbridge series by Follett. Love it. Need to read the other 2. Nice. I think book 5 just came out, right? Was it like last year? So he's still writing in that universe. Oops, what did I do? Rachel says, still need to read the 3rd book. Yes, you do. Beartown book 3 is crazy. So the winners. So I read the arc about the same time with Madison, and I think Jason might have read it with us, and some other people from the server. That book will crush your feelings, stomp on your soul, and spit you out. But that's what we're here for. So that is good stuff. And I love that you love book 2, because a lot of people didn't enjoy book 2. I thought book 2 is fantastic. Us Against You is great. I know my brother-in-law's birthday is 2 days after mine. He turns 40 this year. Oh, to be young. I wish I wish I was only 40. Must be nice. Must be nice. Highly recommend listening to the Hitchhiker's Guide radio play. It was written at the same time as the book. They diverge in several places. Interesting. I didn't know that. So there's some fabulous bits that didn't make it in the book. Interesting. See if I can track it down. Emotionally chew you up and spit you up out. Oh, the masochism of reading. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're Hobb fans, so this is what we do. If we didn't like the author trashing our feelings, what good is it? And Rockio is in that same vein. So if you want to be emotionally manipulated and hurt, then that's what we're here for. Yeah, wouldn't it be great to just be 40? Man, I can't even, that was only 5 years ago for me. I can't even remember it was so long ago. Goodness. All right. So sis, yeah, read Beartown trilogy. That's what you do next. Book 1, Beartown. Book 2, Us Against You. Book 3, The Winners. All in succession. Tell me how much you cry, because you're gonna, and tell me what hurts the most, because it's gonna hurt. So that's what we do here. That's what we like. We want to be emotionally manipulated and have our feelings stomped on. Yeah, a decade ago for Derry. Vaguely remember not being so prone to sleep injury. Fair enough. I don't mean to laugh, but that's kind of funny the way that you phrased it. All right, what else we got? What are everyone else's February plans? Who has exciting stuff on the ticket? See, sis, so somebody else has recommended Beartown. You read the book. That's what you do. Beartown is about a rival hockey club in Norway. You got, two groups of kids, and you talk about their stories. It's fantastic. It's an awesome book. Read it. And the narration for those books is dynamite. So good. Marin Ireland does the narration, and she is amazing. Steve finished Realm of the Elderlings recently. Fantastic. Derry told me to have a box of tissues nearby. Good advice. Loved the series first time through. Awesome. I love when people get through that first run and get through Assassin's Fate, my favorite book in the whole series. Chaz is starting Tawny Man in February. Fantastic. Ah, man, I love that series. I love all the Hob love. Keep it coming. It depresses me when people don't love Rebel of the Elderlands. So anything good anyone has to say, you just keep that coming my way. I know I saw that, Derry. I can't wait to see that. So you and Philip are going to talk about him and his journey through Realm of the Elderlings. I loved your discussion with Madison a couple years back. Was it a couple years back last year when the two of you talked about her journey through the series? That was a fantastic talk. So I know this is going to be wonderful as well. And I liked what you said about this is one you feel like you can go toe to toe with Philip on. And I agree 100%. So I'm very looking forward to it. Yep, Brent has Covenant and Hunt for Red October, both with me. Possibly Assassin's Fate. Make it a point to read Assassin's Fate. You've already destroyed my life with your feelings on Fool's Assassin. It's time to give me a birthday present and love Assassin's Fate. That's what we're here for. All right. Yes, Chaz finally getting to Tawny Man. I believe he loved Live Ship Traders because he's a human being and you need to love Live Ship Traders if you're a human being. So, yeah, let's go on from there. Correct. Yes, Beartown rules so much. What a fantastic book, a fantastic series. And please, Rachel, read the winners for me and let me know what you think. Because that book will knock you on your face. Double hooray. I'm not sure she knew there were more. How did you listen? I have the Audible. Reach out to me after this, sis. Maybe there will be a way I can share the Audible recordings with you. And you can listen that way because I own them, I think. Pretty sure I do. So, yeah, I would really love for you to get into this series because I think it's really, really going to be something that you enjoy. I'm not even really into hockey, but I'm into sports and competitive stuff. And, yeah, it's fantastic series. Currently reading Shogun. That's one I definitely need to get to. I've been saying I'm going to read it for 30 years and I haven't gotten to it yet. I own it. At some point I'll read Shogun. I know Mike is loving it along with others. I know Joanna loved it. Yeah, you're going to be on Priest of Bones too? Okay. Yeah. That one I'm excited about because John Lee does the narration. So that's going to get me through even if I'm not, and I don't have a reason to suspect I wouldn't be, but even if I'm not super vibing with it, John Lee will get me through. Can't wait to see. Yeah, that's going to be a great discussion. I thought so. Yes. Yes, indeed. Live Ship is just the pinnacle of what fantasy can be. I think it's one of the greatest trilogies ever written. I wouldn't change a word. I think it's perfect. And, of course, just further cements Robin Hobb as my favorite author of all time. Haven't organized February just yet. Oh, you're going to be joining us for Hunt for Red October. Fantastic. Love it. We're starting on the 1st, so I'm super excited. Scott Brick does the narration, and he is a pretty good narrator, so I'm looking forward to that. Let's see what we got. Yes, I think we all are. Yeah, Tawny Man is so good. I know I say that about so many Robin Hobb books, but Tawny Man just is crazy good, especially Fool's Errand, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Derry, I think that's your favorite. And that's a very understandable favorite book in the whole series. It's incredible. I have never read Tom Clancy. It's always been an author I've wanted to get into. Ever since I was a kid and walking into Barnes and Noble, and I just see these thick tomes, and I just have never done it. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to get to Hunt for Red October in a couple days. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. All right, what else we got? I'm stoked you're all still with me. This is exciting. Sorry, a little parched. sure I'm up to date. I thought so. Yeah, Fool's Errand, incredible book. Um, you talk about a book that'll knock you on your face and just leave you in your feelings. That's I can't even think of that book without getting emotional. So yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, Covenant's also Scott Brick. I know I have that narration as well. I can assume when Gen Z says getting bricked up, they mean they are listening to two Scott Brick narrated books. It's funny. And I think that's what Taylor said the other day. Let's see. I mean, there's a lot of things I've never read, Derry. There's there's only one of me, and there's too many books. When I was younger, when I was in my I don't know junior high, high school phase, most of the mass market stuff that I read was Grisham and Michael Crichton. So I read all those, and that was pretty much my book diet at the time. And when I was younger than that, I was obviously into Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. And then I didn't really read for pleasure a lot for a little bit of time there, but then kind of when I got to college age and stuff, that's when I found Song of Ice and Fire. And through George, I found pretty much everything else that I love. So I found Abercrombie, I found Robin Hobb, I found Scott Lynch, Patrick Rothfuss, all you know, he would just keep coming out with you need to read these people, and I would just keep reading them and keep loving it. So also reading Thunderhead next month. Scythe blew me away. Okay. Um, yeah, I know Mike is reading that series currently. He had nothing good to say about the third book, but he did say that Scythe was incredible. He recommended that people treat it as a standalone. So I hope that you have a different experience, Chaz. I hope you end up loving the whole series. It's not a series that I have on my radar at all, so I don't, you know, maybe you could talk me into it, but it doesn't feel like something that would be kind of my thing. So I haven't prioritized it or bought any of the books or anything. Open the read along thread in Discord. I feel like I might join that. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. No, I mean, there's no question. I'm gonna love Tom Clancy. That's not a question. Just a matter of I've never gotten around to it. Um, so you know, it's obviously it's gonna happen with Hunt for Red October, which is a great place to start with Clancy. And you know, I hesitate to say it because there's so many authors that are like this, but if I love it, I'm probably keep going. So we'll see how it goes. I'm also really looking forward to rewatching the movie because I haven't seen it in a long, long time, and kind of comparing and contrasting. Yeah, I thought you might. Hey, thanks so much. I appreciate the birthday wishes. It is has been a great day. Um, Lots of very nice well wishers, both online, excuse me, and through my work and in person and everywhere else. It's been a good birthday. We had some nice sushi earlier, my wife and I, and yeah, it's been good. Yeah, it's a really good movie. Sean Connery at his best. Uh, let's see. Scythe is YA, perhaps not your cup of tea. I've read and enjoyed the first two. Okay. Sushi for the win. Yes, indeed. We went to Raw. If you have as much fun as I expect with Hunt for Red October, you'll need to at least read Patriot Games. Okay. Will do. Where to send the gifts? No need for gifts. I do have an Amazon wish list, but most of it's digital. Let me give me 1 second, everybody. I'm gonna just put you on hold for just a minute. I'll be right back. 1 sec. Sorry, I'm back. And let's see. Yeah, no need for gifts. I appreciate the sentiment, but you are watching and engaging in the channel. That's gift enough for me. Anyone else read Tom Clancy, or are you all starting with Scott? That's a good question. I know, I think Brent has read some, just not Hunt for Red October. I don't know if others have read other stuff or not. Cool. What else we got going on? I don't know if I mentioned it on the last stream or if anybody was around, but I don't watch a ton of TV, but I did, of course, watch the Reacher series, which was fantastic. If you have Amazon Prime, I would highly encourage it. It's had 2 seasons now. I like the second season even better than the first, and I love the first. Um, that's a series that I've read a couple books from, the first couple books, and I plan to continue at some point. But really brought to life very, very well. One thing Amazon does really good is kind of these crime and thriller type of stuff. Um, so yeah, check it out. Really good. Let's see. Clancy's way down on the list, but love the movies. Haven't seen the Jack Ryan series, so I watched. I enjoyed the first season of the Jack Ryan series. I muddled through the second season, and I dropped off somewhere in season three. It was wearing me out a little bit. I wasn't enjoying it. I would say that first season is really good TV. I would check that out. More of a self-serving question. Oh, okay. Wanted to send you my own book, the first of a four-part series. I am a new author. Okay. Um, Reach out to me through Discord, and I can't promise I'll be able to review it right away. But if you want to send me a copy, you can. But I can't promise when or if I'll get to it. I hope you understand. You know, I, there's a lot of stuff I need to read. A lot of stuff already in the plans. But I appreciate it, and if you'd like to give me copies, I would be happy to show them off, and would be happy to get to them if and when I can. So yeah, reach out to me on Discord, and we'll set some up. Hear really good thing. Yeah, the Reacher show is fantastic. The I enjoy actually the Tom Cruise Reacher movies. He doesn't look like Reacher. This guy that acts and plays him now in the show really looks like Reacher in the books as described. Um, Exceedingly well written, very well plotted, great acting in it. It's magnificent, really, really good. Check it out. Uh, Keep seeing Reacher. Yeah, it's really good, really, really good. I so it has its detractors certainly. Um, so one complaint is that Reacher's character doesn't have an arc, like the character doesn't change, and that's by design. That's how Lee Child wrote the character. He's Reacher is what he is. He's a loner, kind of wandering from place to place, carries nothing but a toothbrush, buys his clothes secondhand. Like that's just who the guy is. And and another big one is that it's just this alpha male fantasy of the good guy beating up the bad guys, and 100% that's what it is. So for people that like 80s Stallone and Arnold movies, you're gonna have a good time. If you hate that stuff, don't bother. It's not gonna be your thing. So, I don't know if that counts as a disclaimer or what, but that's what it is. Seem to remember. Yeah, I did. I read East of Eden last year. It was great. Um, yeah, I loved East of Eden. It was um, arguably my book of the year. I would say either that or Book of the New Sun taken as a whole. Probably I enjoyed Book of the New Sun a tiny bit more just because of the discussions and the stuff I had on the channel regarding it. But yeah, East of Eden was incredible. I need to get to more Steinbeck. I want to read Grapes of Wrath. I want to read Mice and Men. I want to read a couple of his other stuff. Yeah, he's an incredible writer. Cool. I appreciate it. Oh, yep, that's good. Thanks for dropping in, Brent. I super appreciate it, my friend. Thanks for having my back always, and I look forward to some great reads together in February. Haven't watched season two yet, but I like season one. Yeah, season one is fantastic. Season two is a little bit of a different vein that I liked even more, where there's a little bit of a group dynamic to it, and I really liked the group dynamic. So in season one, there's a little bit of that that coalesces towards the end, but really it's him being a loner. In the second season, it's more of a group thing, and I like it a ton. I liked it more, so I hope you enjoy it. I love Tom Cruise. I get it when people don't love Tom Cruise. It's fine. I love all pretty much every movie that he's in. So that's just me. I literally just watched Collateral again yesterday or the day before. Had a great time. Um, I'm just a Tom Cruise fan. Have been for a long time. Liked the first Reacher movie, but didn't watch beyond that. There were only two. I like the second one probably a little bit better. Fanboy forever of the Mission Impossible. Agree. Yeah, Mission Impossible series is fantastic. I figure it's the formulaic action hero in installment form. Yeah, yeah, that's correct. So yeah, if that's your kind of thing, like it is mine, you'll be good. All good. Thanks for dropping in, Chaz. I super appreciate it, man. Have a wonderful night, my friend. Currently rewatching Buffy, which again I have never read. Not read. I haven't watched. I know there are a ton of super fans, and Spike I know is played by James Marsters. So yeah, I'm glad you are enjoying it. That's good. Anybody's TBR going so long you can never. I think all of us, Jim. It's just that's kind of the nature of these things. If I live to complete my TBR, we're looking at least 120. If I live to the extent of my funds, it was lovely knowing y'all. Yeah. Um, Maybe the singularity will increase all of our lives. Maybe we'll all live to be thousands of years old. Who knows? And then we can read anything we want whenever we want. That'd be all right. Cool. All right. What else we got? Man, we've been going for an hour and a half. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for sticking with me. We'll go a tiny bit longer. People still have questions and so forth. Oh, thanks, Jim. I appreciate it, man. No, you never want to stop discovering more stuff to read. Like if our biggest issue in life is too many things to read, I'd say we're in pretty good shape. I'm on Mike's Discord server. I don't have my own. I'm a moderator on Mike's server. So if you're on Mike's Book Reviews server, just friend me on there, and you can DM me, and I'll talk to you through there. Um, I don't know much about what Master of the Air is. I've heard the name, but I don't have Apple TV currently, so I haven't looked through and seen what that's all about. Give me a pitch for it. I don't know off the top of my head what that is. So I guess in general, I'm not interested until someone makes me interested at the moment. But you never know. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else to share. I know a lot of massive chess fans in here, like me, are super excited that Wei Yi won the Tata Steel. I'm sure you're all following it extremely closely, like I am. And This was a good Tata Steel tournament, even though it didn't have Magnus or Hikaru or Fabi. But a lot of really well played games, a lot of really interesting stuff. Wei back on the scene, youngest player ever to hit 2,700, so pretty cool. Oh, right, right, right. Okay, it's about okay. So it's sort of like Band of Brothers or something like that. Gotcha. Um, Maybe I don't know. So it's got Austin, what's his face? That is the Elvis guy. Maybe. Like I said, I don't watch a ton of TV, so maybe at some point I will. But just discovered I already have the audiobook. Oh, nice! You should join us. Must have found it in a sale at some point. Oh, you've actually got the CD. All right, cool. Or maybe you did an Audible sale. Who knows? Um, yeah, you should join us, Derry. We're doing the discussion on Mike's server. There's a crime and thrillers channel where we talk through it. Spoiler blocked. Make sure everybody has a good experience. Yep, Band of Brothers with Airplanes. Okay, so I have heard about it. I don't know. It's not really that kind of stuff. Isn't super my thing. I think it's cool. I think the storytelling's good, but um, yeah, word story stuff is kind of hit or miss with me. I don't usually invest the time into it. No, I mean, what can I say? I saw a sale. No, I don't own a CD player certainly, but I know some people that do. All right, friends. Well, I probably should be wrapping up pretty soon. Any last minute stuff? So yeah, Steve, I might check that out, but it definitely isn't top of mind or something that I'm like counting down the days to. I hope it's good. I hope you guys all love it. I'll maybe check it out at some point in the future. So probably start winding down. Before we sign off, any last minute stuff? Any burning questions from the 10 of you still with me? No? Okay. No worries. Well, I appreciate everybody dropping in. Uh, yeah, love your face too, Derry. I appreciate you. Um, you have a wonderful, I guess, still evening in New Zealand as well. I appreciate you dropping by. Um, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for reviews and stuff. At some point, I might check it out, but right now I don't have Apple TV, and it probably isn't the type of thing that would get me to switch it on necessarily. But yeah, appreciate the question. Yeah, Dennis, thanks for dropping in, my man. Yeah, hit me up on Discord. Just friend me and DM me, and we'll work something out. I appreciate it. All right, friends. Well, thank you so much for checking in with me. Most of all, appreciate and love you, sis, and my brother-in-law Jason. I'm glad you guys dropped in, and everybody else that watched, of course, and definitely everybody that engaged with the chat. And we'll try and do this a little bit more often. But for right now, I think I'll sign off. And as always, publication order always, my friends.